Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, baby mums and baby dads, self-owned equipment and self-employed podcast all over the world because we're taking that direction. No intersection.
Yep.
We use interjection for this resurrection. You know what I mean? Welcome to the first episode of a new season of Take It to Rim podcast with myself, Rods, aka I don't know why I'm gonna be today. AKA, what team do I choose today?
Not this.
I'm joined by two of my brothers. We've got Clipper Cam. We got Clipper Cam.
What's good?
You know what I mean? Don't know what he's saying, but
I'm good vibes, man. I'm good vibes. Good
vibes. With Blake coming back here, good vibes.
That's not good vibes still, but let's move on.
And we've got LA Jules in the building.
Yep, still repping, as you know,
like
still repping. We here.
So today we've come to discuss something very important, something very shocking, something that has put a stop in the NBA world and then restarted.
Mm-hmm.
A certain someone who we have been screaming for that needs to leave that death trap, that hellhole, that Sodom and Gomorrah we call the Portland Trailblazers.
Yes.
Damian.
You're going in.
That's right. It's time. Damian Lillard has finally left the Portland Trailblazers. And I, for one, I am extremely happy that he's left. How he's been handled is a whole nother situation. But I'm just glad he's out of that hellhole. So I'll go through the trade details, the full trade details first, and then we can all give our two pieces on the trade. So let's see, the Bucks, it was a 3-team trade deal, Portland, Milwaukee, and the Phoenix Suns. So the Bucks, they get Damien Willard. Very, very good signing for Damien Lillard. He's now a Milwaukee Buck. Just for some context, him and Giannis have been planning this behind the works for a while, so we'll see if the NBA will get involved there. The Blazers received Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tamani Kamara. Don't know who that is, can't lie. We'll be very honest with you. 2029 first round pick from the Bucks and the Bucks pick swap. I think that's in 2020 and 2030. The Suns receive Yusuf Nurkic, Nazir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. So what we'll do real quick, I'm going to obviously name the team and then you'll give a grade from A to F, yeah? So the Bucks, what's that grade?
A plus.
A
star.
A plus. Everything. Yeah.
Okay. The Blazers.
Are you?
Done bad.
Are you, bro? No, bro. Are you, bro? They failed out of uni. That's a joke.
I said no defer.
I'm gonna say E. It's not quite a U for players, but it's there enough to get no pick swaps or nothing like. Yeah, E.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a C. Just because now they can do Holiday to trade for contenders so they can get some pieces. So I'm gonna give a C.
Are we? Because I thought, like, I don't understand what you're saying, bro. It don't make sense.
Me?
Like, you're telling me, yeah, that the Bucks were able to get this trade done, yeah, and they gave away Jrue Holiday and Portland. What have Portland received of value in this trade?
Yeah.
Like one. Just tell me one thing Portland received of value in this trade.
DeAndre Ayton. Okay, wait. Hear me out. Okay, wait.
Come on.
I'm not saying it's woo partying here. I'm not saying that. Obviously, we know he has his issues with management. His attitude stinks. He has a lot going on the court. He's been called out by his own teammates as well. I understand that, but it's better for them to have a young DeAndre Ayton who they can pair with Scoot Henderson and company instead of having an injury-prone Yusuf Nurkic there who's getting older. They still get a young centre back. I'm not saying it's the best thing, but it's better to have a young DeAndre Ayton than injury-prone Yusuf Nurkic.
Okay. Question is getting. I just feel like if this is what they like what they've gained out of it in DeAndre Ayton, who has kind of like fallen out of love with Phoenix, and Phoenix have fallen out of love with him, and they've gotten Drew Holiday, who I know they're going to try and move to either Miami. People are saying Philly as well. Like there's other possibilities of where he's going to go. And what I think they got like a 2029 first round draft pick and 2 pick swaps.
Yeah, bro,
you're talking about draft picks 6 years from now. How is this gonna benefit you at any point now? Because it's all great saying that, but by the time, bro, do you remember what I say to you every time? Yeah, that teams have 7 years to get shit together before a player's gonna want out from the point at which they're drafted. Who did they draft this year? Scoot Henderson. 6 years time when they'll finally reap some benefits from this trade, Scoot will have 1 more year left before he gets to say, yeah, I might be out.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I can't even say let's see what they do because we've seen what they've tried to do, and it's not looking good.
Absolutely,
I can't even say that. But if they have these pick swaps, for example, and they get the cap space, if they are able to do something, if Scoot looks good, and DeAndre Ayton falls in love with the game of basketball again, maybe they can use those picks or they can do something. I don't know, but I'm just saying at least they have something. Because if let's say Ayton has I don't know if they're obviously on a rebuild, but use Ayton, they use the pick swaps, obviously the drafting. I don't know, it depends. Maybe another unicorn, but another good player comes in that time. But they got to use what they have. It's better to get because, and obviously we'll see what they get once they trade Drew. But it's better to get a young center and someone you can trade for to help with the rebuild process, rather than if it was like they just got DeAndre Ayton and Drew Holiday alone. That's it. That would be arse because then you're going to trade him away. You don't have no picks, and you have DeAndre Ayton who is questionable.
Rods, the reason that I disagree with what you're saying is categorically on the basis of one, who the player is. This is arguably Portland's greatest ever player. It probably is. But yeah, arguably
it is. Portland. No, it is. It's their greatest player.
Portland is the greatest ever player. This is an NBA 75 player. This is a arguably top 10 player in the league when fit. Debatable about a top 10 to 20 point guard of all time. And the hauls that we've seen in recent years for Gobert, for Donovan Mitchell, for all we've seen in recent years, like the hauls that have received for that caliber of player, yet Damien Willard is still above these players. To me, he's better than a lot of the players that have been traded at that high level, Bills, and you can name it. He's an NBA 75 player. He's top 75 to ever play the game in the 75 years NBA existed, or 77, whatever it is now. You have to give this guy Hall should be near enough everything. Like you should be having teams giving up near enough absolutely everything they got to get this guy. And after all the trade talks, after everything that's gone on this summer, when I saw that, I was a bit like, is that it? Do you know what I mean? Like you look at teams of like that Gobert trade alone. Come on. What the, like 5, 6 pick swaps plus 3 first rounders, and you're thinking, what the heck? This 1 first rounder, am I right? 1 or 2? 1?
It's one unprotected first rounder and 2 first round pick swaps.
That's for Damien Lillard.
Yeah.
All the time on this podcast, to say this guy needs to go. Him and Bill, they're the 2 people they need to go. They've been saying, funny enough, Lillard and Kane in the same summer have gone. We've been saying like everyone goes on in sports world. That's the 2 people that need to leave their teams. Lillard is out here getting what? Nothing. Like they could have traded him to so many teams in their career if that's really what they were gonna get. Like I really thought this whole time I was gonna get mad picks for him, and you're seeing it. They're like, raw. yeah, that's what it took to get Lillard out of Portland. You're like, now I'm seeing it, it's like, is that all it took?
But,
Is that it?
but two things. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Another one, the way you're saying Lillard is insane. Is insane. It's insane.
Ah,
I don't mind. That's him. That's him. He's him.
No, bro, and I have to say it every time because I feel nuts somewhere. I think even just like you're right, 100%. They should have got a much bigger haul for him. I look at guys like DeJounte Murray in the exact same position that Dame's in, that got way more. That San Antonio got way more from Atlanta for a trade like him. I think the problem with this is that when a player, I think teams have to now get to the point where they're trading the guy before he asks for the trade. Otherwise, there's no value there. The second a player puts in a trade request, everyone in the league knows that team is now desperate to get rid of him. So you're never going to get value back for him. Dame should have been traded at least 2 years ago. We know that. We've been saying this. Like, we know it. He should have been traded time ago, but they kept holding on to it. The second CJ went, Dame should have gone as well. Like, we know that that's what happened. And I think in essence, it's his fault and it's their fault. It's his fault because he kept saying to them, I want to see what you guys can do to put around. Bear in mind, this guy got drafted in 2012. That's what this would be his 12th NBA season right now, and you're telling me that this team have shown you that they can't put talent around you, or enough talent around you for you to be a true contender. They made the Western Conference Finals one time and got swept, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. And then you look at what. There's no way Miami didn't put a better offer than this.
They did.
Don't get me wrong, yeah.
And this is where the issue is because the Portland Trailblazers had no idea what they was doing. They had no idea, no clue.
Not at all.
Because Miami offered
you
deal. There was Tyler Heroes in
100%.
Let me see. There was things reported, yeah, and it was like I could not believe
because in my head, yeah, when you think about it, if I had to put like a trade together already, that would be better than this one. Give me. And I probably, Joe, I'd even like not even. I don't want Tyler Hero because we've got enough guards. Give me Kyle Lowry, Jovic, an abundant. Like, give me 3 or 4 first-round picks.
They were involved in the trade.
3 or 4 first-round picks, and I know. Portland said they wanted Harkes as well, the guy that they drafted this year in the top 20. I think he was like 16th pick or something like that. 100%. I think the only reason I think that's better is because yes, they've got an Ayton, but Ayton has just been in the league for 5 years now, and he's shown that I don't think he loves the game like that. Man's out here running around with SWs, bro.
Everything.
With SWs.
Yeah.
He's moving mad. I just don't think. I don't think Portland have made like a great deal here. Now, don't get me wrong. If they can move Drew Holiday, and I think this is where they're going to get the value in the trade. If they can move Drew Holiday to a Miami or Philadelphia, I don't think it's possible for him to go to Boston because his contract's too big. But teams like that who need a competent point guard who can play defense, but he's a perfect fit for Miami. And I think they could still do the exact same trade I just said for Dame for Drew. Then they've won. But right now, Portland are big losers in this. Rods, I cut you off as well before you even got to talk about the other team in the 3-team trade. The other team is Phoenix, bro. Phoenix won.
Big.
Phoenix won.
Phoenix, like, they basically solved a lot of their depth issues by adding
100%.
Is very good for Phoenix because this is what was the question. Okay, yes, you've got this and this team, but what are you going to surround them with? And there's a potential starting lineup. If I'm the head coach there, I'm experimenting with this starting lineup. Booker, Bill, KD, Bobo, Yusuf Nurkic. And that is because you're good. You have the defense. You've got the shot blocker. You've got the paint protection. You know, like Phoenix really cashed well, and they got rid of their attitude problem. And this is one thing that I was questioning because it was like, okay, yes, you've got these 3 guys, but the guy you're surrounding them with, like Ayton already, when Booker is getting on to him for something that he did, he's all whining. You need to get that guy out there. If the house is on fire, hey,
get
the women and the children out. The child is gone. The child is
gone.
Yeah.
When we look at what Phoenix really did, they turned DeAndre in because that's the only player they lost out of this trade, right? and they turned DeAndre Ayton into Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, and Nazir Little, plus Keon Johnson. But like he used to play for the Clippers. I know he's very athletic, but he's not. He's probably not going to crack the rotation for them guys. But we're talking about they've turned their starting center into another starting center who, if we're being honest, probably fits their system a bit more because he's more of a rebounding and playmaking as opposed to Ayton, Aiton's super passive, isn't it? Like in my opinion, I don't think he's aggressive enough in it. I think Nurkic will be a better fit, and he might not be a better player, but I think he'll fit their system a bit better as well. But then also you get one of the most hated NBA players in Grayson Allen, always trying to make a dirty play on the court, trip someone up, twist someone's ankle, all that shit. And then you get a younger forward in Nazir Little as well. Like I think Phoenix did what they need to. To be fair, the only losers in this whole trade situation right now to me is Portland. I think it's Portland, and I think all GMs need to take note of this. Yeah, like I think Chicago, like be on notice. Zach LaVine, you need to trade him.
Yeah, same
Zach
thing.
LaVine, you need to trade him. Don't make the same mistake of keeping these superstars stars for too long to where they don't have value anymore.
Yeah, this is what
I think that's where they were from. Yeah,
the issues is because they had the chance to end up with Lowry, Duncan, Jovic, Ben Simmons, 3 first rounds, 2 swaps, Hero being rerouted somewhere else. You had all of that, and that is more than because if you want to keep him, obviously because he doesn't require the ball as much, just the shooter there. Jovic is new, up and coming. You know, you might have a breakout season. You can obviously, I don't know if they wanted to take on shopping around, obviously, Lowry, Hero, and Simmons, because I don't think anyone's going to take Simmons. But how old is Simmons? What, 25, 26?
20, I'd say he's probably 26, 27 now.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's one of the ones where we know he can be a point guard because he don't really shoot, but he can pass the ball. So you can put him with Scoot. Scoot is more offensive. You could have done something there, but it just seemed like, and the Blazers didn't pick up. They didn't try and renegotiate with the Heat. They didn't do none of that. It's like the Heat were their full-time ops, and they're not trying to hear it. And it's crazy. Because,
to be fair, though, I did hear that Pat Riley never like changed his offer. Like he put one offer on the table, he never did anything else to adjust it or anything.
This is where also we've got to talk about Pat, because all those free agents that wanted to leave and go Miami, Damien Willard, Donovan Mitchell, who else? KD, Bill, I believe, like 4 to 5 superstars wanted to come, and you fumbled all of them. We got to start putting things like Pat Riley. What are you doing now? Like, you're supposed to be the Godfather, but maybe your time is done. You know, sometimes in Mafia, the Godfather has to get. Obviously, the term is whacked, pause, but you know, sometimes you've got to go. You've got to change management, and it's just one of those where, like, you fumble, and obviously you've made the finals and Eastern Conference Finals. You know, like finals twice, Eastern Conference Finals maybe 3 to 4 times, and it's like you've done a good job of getting to a UT, but the things to do to get over the hump, you've kind of failed at. Like, what's going on? Why has this and this coming out saying he hasn't pulled back? I reckon he has to have fumbled all of them and probably didn't pull back on most of them. So obviously, if anything involved Bam, I get why you'll be hesitant. Cool, it's Bam. But I'm sure there's other offers where he could have, but he's just been stern. And because, to his credit, he's been tough on it and he's made good progress. Their team hasn't been bums. They've actually done decent. So he's probably sticking with his word. But come on, man. Come on.
I think the worst situation for Miami now is that this trade literally makes another team in their conference better, and like not just a little bit better, like a lot better.
It correctly said, they, to me, as you saw last season, it was the best team in the East to me are Boston. The best team in the East overall last season was Boston. Then Milwaukee to me that second, and it was like they were like 2A, 2B, depending on what kind of flavor that Miami and Milwaukee kind of did. And they're definitely number 3 now. Milwaukee have shot up to number 1 again. And I feel like you're looking overall at Miami, like you correctly said, they fumbled too much in recent years. You look at, like you said, they need to get over the hump. You're doing all the right things behind the scenes. They've signed the right free agents. They did all these undrafted. Like, they're signing well. These undrafted guys that turn into real good value when it comes in the playoffs. And then you're seeing these guys hit clutch shots, clutch moments. Like, they're big time guys when it comes down to it. But Jimmy and Bam, you might clown them, people might do this, but they have done absolutely the most they could have done with the rosters they've been given. 2 NBA finals in 4 years, 3 Eastern Conference finals in 4 years. Even and the one time they didn't get to the conference finals was the year after the bubble, when arguably they were shattered. And you look at it, it's like, how many players have gone within these 4 years that they could have? You're talking some elite level superstars that could have just changed their franchise, could have just given that one thing to get them over the hump and have that chip right now.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Can't lie. But all I can say is now, Milwaukee are in a win now situation, because what you've done, you have to be in the. For me, they've got to be there. I know obviously the Celtics are still a problem, but they still have their problems in they don't have a point guard. They're still relying on the playmaking to be done through Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That has not been successful. They need a pure point guard, which I don't think they could go for Drew, but they're going to need someone there for that. And until they get these issues, like, obviously the additions that they have with Porzingis is cool, is great, and maybe I'll put Derek White at the point guard. But for me, Milwaukee Bucks is a win now situation. Of course, 100%. You've got the talent to do so. Giannis is now surrounded by how many shooters? You've got Bobby Portis, you've got Brook Lopez, you've got Chris Middleton, you've got Damian Lillard now as well. Now there's no excuse, and obviously Giannis doesn't want the smoke, because we've seen when it comes down to last possessions what he does, and it's like, okay, cool. Now you've got someone who's a closer. You've got Middleton already now, who he's been proven that he can do that. Now you've got Lillard as well, so more range. You've got more for it. So for me now, there's no excuses. The Bucks have to go in. Yes, use a bit of defense with Drew Holiday being gone, but you can make that. The team still overall is a good defensive team. Lillard can fit into that scheme somewhere. So I'm obviously happy that Lillard has finally left the Trailblazers, because I was tired of them. He did say a few things. He dropped a farewell freestyle. So he had this loading. He definitely had this loading, because he dropped it as soon as the trade went through. And,
are you sure it wasn't out before?
No, definitely
it wasn't out before, because it reached up. I saw the tweet. It was basically after the trade.
Okay.
And to quote, I want to quote some things from this lyrics, because we have to just in the short time we have left. I continue leaving trails, but won't be for the Blazers. That's a shot already there. And he's been loyal to that team. They failed to put talent around him. So fair enough. Like, I thought they would have at least tried to do a trade to send him where he wanted to, but of course Portland were like, no, F you. So you know what? That's cool. This bar as well. Was it unnecessary a bit? What I'm about to say, kind of, because you can't kind of blame the guy who's sending shots at, but you know what I mean? I could never be replaced. They'll know sooner than later. And obviously there's a picture of Damien Willard and Scoot Henderson side by, obviously cropped or whatever, side by side. And you can't really blame Scoot. He got drafted, like, what's he supposed to do? So, but I understand obviously what Portland did.
The media, bro. Don't let the media fool you, fam.
I know.
That bar wasn't.
It wasn't for Scoot. The media are going to try to do it for us, because obviously it's like, because they drafted Scoot instead of, say, Brandon Miller, who it would have still kind of suited Dame more. You draft another PG. And Dame Miller did say, if they draft a PG, I'm gone, because clearly we're not aligning with our plans.
He wanted them to even draft up to trade up, innit? He wanted them to try and get, So he wanted them to get number 2, like you're saying, innit?
But as we can see here, I'm gonna actually still give props to it, because he stayed and done what he did. He got his money, and now he's on a contender. So no excuse.
He's got to do something now, though.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, they'll get to the final.
This
Like,
is the best team he's ever been
yeah.
around, and he's going to work very well.
100%.
He's got other shooters. He's got the option of pick and roll guys. There's so many options now. So for me, now there's no excuse at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any final words as we bring this to a summary?
Nah,
I do.
I got
I
a lot.
just think, I think I have to like double down on it again and say, one, if you're an NBA player and you want to win rings, yeah, and you've been at a team for X amount of time, don't expect them to start changing up to try and suit you in it. They're gonna do what they need to do on their timeline.
Yep.
I think even before, like I said, he should have gone when CJ went. I think that's a clear indication that they were, because what did they do? They got rid of CJ and brought in who exactly? Now Portland still have Jeremy Grant's contract. We ain't even spoken about that. Portland still paid that man for, was it 5 years, 180?
An absurd like that.
What's like they're a mess. He's got to be next to go as well. So I think the organization itself are a bit of a mess, and I don't think they 100% know what they're doing. I think they need to recoup as much draft capital as possible, because no one wants to go there as a free agent. It's a fact. No one does. No one wants to go there as a free agent. So they need to do what they need to do to actually bring talent in. That's through the draft. So that's one thing to think about. I think, like you said, there's a lot of expectation now on Dame and Milwaukee. They have to win. They have to make deep playoff runs. They have to be getting to the finals, because we've seen Giannis do it without Dame. So there's no reason why this team now can't contend with Denver. That's a good matchup in my eyes, man. That's a very good matchup in my eyes. Yeah. If we see a Denver-Milwaukee finals this year, I think that's a good matchup. I think Dame and Jamal Murray will be doing a madness. Jokic is going to be Jokic, and Giannis has opportunities to do the things that he does great as well. But then I also look at Phoenix now and
100%.
say Phoenix have done a mad thing this offseason. From the second they brought in Bradley Beal, and it was they've got no depth. They addressed all of that. So them boys now, they've got a training camp to get together. I say by December, Phoenix need to be one of the top 3 teams in the West. Right now, I think it's going to be between Phoenix, Denver, and the Lakers for the top 3 in the West. And I think the East is going to be crazy. I'm very excited to see what this looks like. And let's see if Dame can actually win a ring, innit?